Hey, welcome back. I have some seed hauls that I thought I would share with you today. So many of you are familiar with Janey from Dig, Plant, Water, Repeat. She recently had a garden tour that credited this seed company, and then I have another one to share as well. And I was so inspired because the majority of her garden was grown from seed from this seed company. So I quickly went online to see which seeds were available for my zone. I am in zone 4 or 5. I believe that was a zone 9 garden. And I was thoroughly impressed with their seed selection for my zone. So a lot of these plants can be grown from zones 3 or 4 all the way up to 9. And the seed companies that I ordered from are Swallowtail Gardens and Fairy Seeds, which is in Ontario. So a lot of these, actually all of them, are perennials for my zone. And I'm going to primarily be using them for landscaping, but mostly cut flowers. If you are new to my channel, I grow cut flowers, I sell bouquets, and I just love gardening. So anyway, my husband agreed with me that growing by seed is definitely an economical option. And if you love growing by seed, then definitely a good idea to peruse some of these websites and see what they offer for your garden. The only thing is growing perennials from seed is a little bit tricky. Most of them require a cold stratification period, which can be sort of simulated by freezing your seeds in paper towels and Ziploc bags in the freezer. I believe placing them in there for a week or two, pulling them out, and then it sort of mimics that winter frost and freeze that the seeds need in order to germinate. So I'm going to be doing that this summer. Summer is a great time to start your perennials. It gives them sort of a jump on the season, and then hopefully by next spring or summer they will be blooming, because quite often it takes perennials 2 years to get established enough to give you blooms. So I'm thinking if I start them now, early summer, by next fall I will have blooms, which I'm very, very excited about. The only downside I can think about is, we have just come through spring, which is a huge seed starting process, at least for myself. So some of you might be done with your seed starting and not feel like you're wanting to fill up your seed room again. Myself, however, I'm excited to do this. Like I said, it just gets you a jump on the season for next year, just to have these established perennials rooted in and ready to bloom the following year. Okay, let's open up these packages and I will share the varieties that I purchased with you. So these seed packets do not have beautiful photos on their packet, so I will include photos for you on the screen. So Swallowtail Gardens is an American company. I believe they are in California, so I did have to pay customs. So for you Canadians who are planning to order from Swallowtail Gardens, it cost me about $30 for customs plus shipping just to get these seeds here. But like I said before, growing perennials from seed or starting perennials from seed is such an economical option. I think if I were to add up the cost of how many plants I'm getting versus what I spent for seeds, shipping, customs, I'm certain I'll be making money on this purchase. Okay, so the first one I have is Pink Saucer Japanese Anemone. And anemones are a wonderful late summer bloom. You can use them for cut flowers. They're not very deer resistant. I do find the deer nibbling on my existing Japanese anemone, but I'm definitely wanting to add more perennials to my flower farm. So this will go in the deer fenced area, and I think it'll be a great late summer addition for blooms. And another one is Grand Astilbe. This is Astilbe arendacii. So this can come in shades of red, pink, carmine, and cream. And they get to be 30 to 34 inches tall, which is incredible for a cut flower stem. You definitely want as tall as possible. I have a shade garden that I'm thinking these will go well in. Okay, Campanula medium. So this is double mixture cup and saucer Campanula. I've heard people say Campanula. I've always heard Campanula, so that's what I'm going to call it. So this is a biennial, but it's a great cut flower, so I'm definitely excited about that. Another Campanula is Telham Beauty Peach Leaf Bellflower. So this one's an actual perennial, which is exciting. So this one gets to be about 2 to 3 feet tall. Very, very exciting. Peach is just an underrated flower. and I just think it goes with so many different shades. Okay, another campanula. This is white bells peach leaf bellflower. So the same plant as before, but just white bells. And the nice thing is, these seed packets have 500 seeds in them. That will go a long way. I am on an acreage, and I think having hundreds of seeds to start is just a blessing. Okay, dianthus. This is grenadine mix, and dianthus is a carnation. Dianthus is a great cut flower. It's not your typical one that you would buy from a florist or at a grocery store. Carnations that are grown, or dianthus that are grown in our climates are not the same, but they're definitely a stunning flower. They have a little bit more of a personality, I would say, when you're growing them locally or seasonally versus the ones that are imported. Okay, gaillardia. This is the single mix. Gaillardia is a no-fuss plant. It's sort of a wildflower, so it's not picky with soil needs, and it's just so easy, no fuss. This one says it continuously blooms throughout summer and fall. Very excited about that one. Okay, Gara. I have never grown Gara. This is called the Bride, and it is 4 feet tall. It can grow up to. Very exciting. And it says it blooms from June until frost. So for me, that's a no-brainer. Not only is it a super tall plant, but it's going to be blooming for the majority of the growing season. So that's very, very exciting. Okay, this is actually an annual. It's a perennial in some areas if you're in the more warmer region. Pelargonium. I'm saying that wrong, geranium. So this is the one that, we start from seed. I started these ones from seed. They're stunning. You can overwinter them, and they will come back year to year if you give them that protection that they need. But this first one is called Bullseye Salmon. Growing geraniums from seed was my first time this last season, and it was so easy, such a dream. So I'm definitely wanting to try more of them, hence why I bought more. Okay, and Maverick Apple Blossom is another one. Very excited about that color. Maverick Coral Geranium, definitely another good color. It's probably going to be similar to this one. I'm just thinking if I overwinter some of these things, I don't need to be purchasing them from nurseries every year. It'll just save a bit of the cost in that way. I think it has started raining. I'm hopeful that it's not going to keep raining, so I'm just going to keep going, but we'll see. We might have to run indoors. Okay, another geranium. This is Maverick Quicksilver. It says light lavender pink flower heads. That just sounds so pretty. Okay, Vision Light Pink Geranium. Oh, and I will say that most of these don't have a ton of seeds in them, anywhere from 5 to 10, which is okay. I had great germination rate on my geraniums that I started from seed last time, so I'm hopeful that I will get lots. Okay, GM. I have a GM right now, and it is just producing the most beautiful flowers for my bouquets. It's almost like a mini rosette, the flower shape. So this one is called Blazing Sunset, and it says it's a fiery scarlet. Definitely a good plant to have for your cutting garden. Okay, Sunbeam GM. This is another brilliant scarlet red, and it also comes with a sunny yellow sunrise GM. And again, it says it's a double rose-like bloom, but they're almost miniature. They're almost like a spray rose, very small, very dainty, but they just add that little pop of interest to bouquets. Okay, Jacob's Ladder. I really like Jacob's Ladder. It's not as deer resistant as you would think it is, but again, like I said, I've got a space in my flower farm, my fenced area, that I might have to plug this in. So this one is called White Pearl. Okay, Lobelia. This is cardinal flower. And this, if you know anything about hummingbirds, you know they love those tubular red flowers, so this is going to be a great one for them. And it is a perennial in my area. Okay, Jupiter's Beard, and this is the Pretty Betsy. Nice tall clusters of blooms, and it says they're rose red flowers, summer to fall, and the butterflies love them. Excited about this. I don't think I've grown Jupiter's Beard before, but the picture just caught my eye, and I thought I have to try that. Okay, Mystica penstemon. Penstemon is such a great plant to have. Really, really love that plant. And this one gets to be 3 feet tall, which is pretty typical for a penstemon, and soft lavender pink flowers. Coreopsis, and this is called American Dream. I have Coreopsis right now. I believe it's seashells or something like that. Sort of a not too fancy looking Coreopsis, but this one caught my eye. It's definitely a little bit prettier. It says it's a rosy pink and a yellow center, daisy-like flowers, and they get to be spreading into 18 to 24 inches wide, which is a great size and another good perennial. Okay, Rondo penstemon. This is a mixture of pink, red, and violet shades. It doesn't get to be too tall. It's about 16 inches tall at its maturity, but I still think it's a good trial to see if it'll be good for a cut flower. Excelsior hybrid, don't know if I'm saying that right, foxglove, and this is digitalis. So these get to be 5 foot tall. Foxglove are such a great perennial. They sometimes perennials. These are biennials, but this mixture includes cream, pink, purple, yellow, and white. And I have told myself, now that I've enjoyed the benefit of cutting off a foxglove for a couple years, that I am going to keep sowing it every single year because it is a biennial, and I want to ensure that my garden always has foxglove because I think it's just such a beautiful flower, and it really blooms at a great time. It's blooming late spring, early summer, so just after a lot of your spring flowers have stopped blooming, but before the big summer flush comes. So it's just like a good transitional flower, if you want to call it that. Okay, I have some oriental poppies. So this one is called Fruit Punch, and it comes in juicy shades of red, purple, and deep pinks from May to June. And it is hardy to zone 4. So oriental poppies I do not grow yet. I have Icelandic poppies, and then I have a few of the annual poppies. Bread seed poppies, I believe. They produce those beautiful seed heads. But this is a perennial, and it just has the most interesting color. And I'm really, really excited to have this perennialize in my yard. Another oriental poppy I have is Pizzicato. And this is semi-dwarf, but it's 20 inches tall. So I think that will still be plenty high for a cut flower. And it says they are strong. It produces strong wind-resistant stems. Icelandic poppies, contrary to these, are not as strong, at least for myself in my experience. Icelandic poppies are very airy and loose, and they don't always hold up well in a market bouquet. If I'm just arranging a beautiful bouquet that's just going to stay stationary on a table, it's great. But if I'm moving it, transporting it to sell at the local store that I sell, it just doesn't always hold up. So Icelandic poppies aren't always great for that. But I'm thinking oriental poppies with that stronger wind-resistant stem will be perfect. And this comes in shades of salmon, orange, scarlet, red, mauve, pink, and white. Really excited for that. Okay, Foxy Foxglove. This is a perennial foxglove. It's so funny. It is so interesting to read seed packets and to learn all about the different species and varieties within plants. And it is so subjective to where you live, what kind of winters you have, what kind of summers you have, etc. So when they say that this is a perennial, I'm really hoping so. I would love to have a perennial foxglove, but we will see. So it says winter hardy to zone 4, flower. It will flower the following year, and it will be 3 foot tall when it is blooming. And this packet is 5,000 seeds. That is tons. Okay, Eryngium. This is a great, great flower, not only for dried, but for fresh as well. And it is blue glitter sea holly. It's a really fun plant. It just has that little spiky interest to your bouquet, and like I said, very good for dried as well. All right, another foxglove, and this is called Giant Yellow Herald, and it is strong, straight spikes of a Dijon mustard-colored flower on 5 to 6 foot tall plants. So definitely a back of the border plant, but really excited to see what kind of yellow that turns out to be. Another Eryngium, and this is white glitter sea holly. I think these are very beautiful. It's almost like a spray globe thistle, the other plant that's sort of similar. It looks similar to that plant, but just more of a spray. Okay, and then we have another yellow foxglove. So this one's called Large Yellow, and it says it's a true perennial. So there we go. Some are biennials, some are true perennials. Just depends on what type it is. So this is Digitalis grandiflora. And again, 500 seeds. I will have way too many foxglove. The recording must have cut out, so I have 3 yaros to share with you. So this is the first one, Flower Burst, very vibrant, Very beautiful, love this one. And then Colorado, I also grow this one and the last one already, but I've heard that they revert back to the white. So replanting often is great every couple years. And it has 50 seeds in that packet and then 1,000 seeds for the Colorado. So this is a more muted pastel, I would say, but definitely a great filler for your bouquets. Oh, one more yarrow. I've got cloth of gold fern leaf yarrow. And I think there was something about, you'll see it on the screen, I'll put the picture there, but I think the foliage on this yarrow was just a different look, very interesting. And there's 4,000 seeds here. Perennial, grows 3 to 4 foot tall, and it blooms early summer until frost. Oh, last one is more yarrow. So this is Cerise Queen yarrow. And this is a mat-like habit with dark green, deeply cut foliage, and it grows 24-inch tall, and it's topped with bright cherry red flowers, perennial, 1,000 seeds. Yeah, most of the yarrow I have is like the Colorado mix, very muted, pastels, very nice, but not as much bang, not as much vibrancy. But this one I think is going to be great paired with, other. I'm thinking about Benary's giant purple zinnia. That would be really nice with that. Anything really bold, I think this will kind of hold its own. And my recording cut out again, so I've got a few more varieties to share with you. A few more foxglove. So this is Monstrosa, and I just love the look of that top bloom there. They just get so much larger than the typical ones. Really neat. And then Snow Thimble, just a nice pop of white. White is such a refreshing color to add to your bouquet or your landscape, I think. And Milk Chocolate, not only is the name really cute, I think that color is really, really subtle and nice and soft. And then another Gaillardia, this is Arizona Red. I think it's a shorter one, yeah, 12 inches, but I still think it's nice to have in the landscape and perhaps for a cut flower as well. Jupiter's Beard, love this plant, and the colors on this plant are just so vibrant. Love that color. A couple sedums. The first one is Emperor's Wave. Autumn Joy is a beautiful sedum to use for a cut flower, but I think I'm going to try this one as well. And then this is a ground cover, Voodoo. Again, the color. Going for a lot of burgundy this year in the garden, and I think this will be a good addition as well. And then Veronica happens to be one of my favorite spike elements in a bouquet. So this sightseeing mix is a really, really nice addition. And then Pink Goblin, shorter, but definitely I'm going to try and use it for a cut flower. All right, so that wraps up my order for swallowtail seeds. I'm really, really excited to start these. Like I said, some of them require a cold stratification period. Others I can just sow the seeds as I would any annual or vegetable that I typically grow. So I'm going to get these going, and hopefully they will be mature and strong enough to be planted out in the fall. And then as winter progresses, the root system will sort of be dormant, but also establishing itself. And then come spring and summer, I think a lot of these perennials are going to start blooming. So definitely worth the wait, in my opinion. I love seed starting, and perennials are just sort of a different challenge, just because they do require a little bit more of a process when you are getting them going. Anyway, let me know if you have tried any of these varieties and how they're doing in your garden. I'll be sure to take you along as I start these and I'm planting them out, and then even updating you next year, which seems so far in the future, but I'll be letting you know how these do and keep you updated on them. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.